Hey guys, I'm Josh with Simplified Church, and man, this is what a crazy time we are living in here. And luckily, I have a unique asset and a brother that serves the local church. And we just wanted to kind of take a quick minute and interview each other. And Luke, my brother, serves a church in Savoy, Illinois, that is just outside of Champaign. And small church. I'll let him kind of introduce that congregation, but they have been live streaming on Facebook every Sunday for several months now. So I felt like it was very crucial to the time that we're in right now, as most of us are getting to a point where we're not going to be allowed to meet physically together as a corporate congregation, and wanting to find out ways to do this digitally. So hey, Luke, let's take a few minutes and tell me, just kind of give us what is Cornerstone Savoy? Who are you? What size? So guys have an understanding of where you're coming from.
Yeah, definitely. I'm Luke. I'm the lead pastor at Cornerstone here in Savoy. We are literally 4 miles from the University of Illinois campus in Champaign-Urbana. And pretty much if you cross a road that's called Windsor Road and you don't see the sign that says Savoy, Village of Savoy, you don't know you're in Savoy, because that's how interconnected we are here in this area. I've been at Cornerstone for almost 3 years now. So it'll be 3 years this summer. And we are a church of revitalization. So there are a lot of things the church was doing that really wasn't working. And we came in to say, what could we be doing better to better minister to the area we are in? And soon after being in ministry here, within a year, we discovered that we had a lot of families that were at home. We were running, when I got here, we're running somewhere between 30 and 40 people. We're now at 100 and on a Sunday morning. But we still have people who are confined to being staying at home. And we have one lady who comments every Sunday on our Facebook Live. He's like, thankful you're doing this. And she tells us every time, I'm so thankful you go Facebook Live. And it's been a valuable resource for us. And so with everything that's happened in these past couple of weeks, it's been very easy for us to adjust, saying, we're going Facebook Live this week and not going physically meeting this weekend on campus.
Very cool. Yeah, and just so we're clear, you're not in any way you're nowhere near a mega church where you've got thousands of dollars of production money going into this. This is really bare bones, bootstrap budget that you've put together to be able to do this week in and week out, and it works great, right?
Exactly. We like I said, the past couple of Sundays we were at 100, but once everything started happening, we were down last week, but I mean, we had a lot of hits on Facebook Live, more than we've had in a while, because people were at home.
And let's be real clear too, as we're talking about getting into the technology of what can be done, the guy at home that's getting ready to start, the pastor that's wondering how I'm going to do this, and hearing live stream and all these buzzwords, let's talk about the reality. We don't have to live stream Sunday morning service. Most of us in the iPhone that we have in our pocket have enough technology to do church this Sunday morning. And there's nothing wrong with that church service going live. Well, shoot, you could record it an hour before your service is supposed to meet anyway, and publish the recording. So just to be clear, guys, we don't have to get into all this real high-tech, nitty-gritty live streaming. It's cool to do, but just so that we know, your iPhone is a good start. And you kind of started there, didn't you?
We did. We used iPhones. We did. We used my iPhone and we used my wife's iPhone for a couple Sundays. And just to be honest, like, the quality was very bad. And you could see it, people walk in front of it, and it wasn't very good. But we started somewhere, and we tested out other things of how to make it work within our budget, within our capabilities, to make it work for us.
And you know, from that standpoint too, and this is just from a non where we're at right now, but just video production in general, guys, you can get away with poor video. Where you really want to invest and where you really want to focus is audio. You can have poor video and great audio, but you will struggle to have great video with poor audio. Audio really is what's going to be the kicker in a lot of these. But there are some cheap $15 cameras you could get on Amazon. May not get it by this Sunday, but there are some really inexpensive options. So that being said, now we've kind of put the background. Anything else that I've missed before we get going here?
No, it's just really trying to figure out what you have as a system. We did a lot of trial and error at the very beginning to figure out how it works best for our church.
Yeah.
And that's really what it comes down to. Be okay with the minimal possibility. I saw a pastor one time put their phone literally on the pulpit and recorded themselves as they preached to the congregation. It's that simple. So you could do whatever works best.
We have the technology in the phones to really go live and do everything you'd want to do. But let's talk for the quick time now. You've gone through the trial and error. You've done a few things. What does your equipment look like at this point? What are you using?
We use a MEVO camera, MEVO camera, and it is an all-in-one system. When you start thinking live streaming, this is like very technical about it, was that when you record, you can't automatically put that to a website or put that into any type of feed because there are HTML and coding that you couldn't get across. And a lot of time that coding costs money to get a good coding converter for you to do that. And Adobe does have a free one, but there are some glitches and some updates that you have to make sure you have to do it. But a MEVO camera does it all in one. It records, it encodes it, and it will upload it to anywhere you want to with a purchase of how you want to do it. You can easily do it to one at a time, which is what we do for Facebook Live. You can upload it to YouTube. You can upload it to Vimeo, any live stream service, because it is through, I believe the company's called Livestream, that puts this camera out because it's one of their smaller devices to their bigger brand that they do for churches. But it allows you to upload a service, upload it to your video feed to a specific place, and it does it seamlessly through the internet that you have.
So there's a lot of technical things you talked about there, but just so we know, the MEVO camera does it for you.
MEVO camera does it all for you.
And you're talking about coding and things like that. There are a lot of services out there that can do it all. There are some ways you could probably hack it and make it work, but the MEVO camera. What are we talking about from an investment standpoint in a MEVO? Oh
man, there is an investment because there's the single camera you could buy. It's about that big, that has about an hour battery life, and that was a downfall for us. If you haven't, it's only an hour, up to an hour of recording time if you have it fully charged. And so we bought a bundle that came with a stand and an extended battery pack that gives us 6 extra hours of recording and a lot more capabilities. It is a very good resource for us. And the investment that you're making, it's going to be pricey. I just did a quick search here on Google, and it's $400 just for the little camera.
Yeah.
And what we made the investment for the extra $600, I think it was, to get the extra bundle that it came with, to get everything we needed to make it work.
Gotcha. Okay, so there is quite an investment. I saw a link go out. I don't know how true it was. You know, anything on the internet you can't believe anymore these days. But it looked like MEVO was giving away some at some point, maybe here in the last. I don't know if that was true or not, but I saw it, and who knows? Keep your eye out.
Yeah.
I would also say, Guy, you know, the camera I'm using right now is a Logitech 9200 HD camera. It's just a simple USB web camera that I bought at Best Buy, and it was like $100. And I've got to tell you, it's a great camera as well. I would venture to guess that it would be possible to use something like that in lieu of the $400 MEVO camera to do what you're wanting to do. Set a laptop in the front of the church and connect that USB camera to it. That would also give you a step above the iPhone, a step above an iPad, whatever you want to do. But maybe in between, making that $400 to $1,000 investment that you're talking about with the MEVO camera, I'm thinking there. But it's cool. So we've got the equipment, we've got that in place. So you need some type of a computer, be that Mac, PC, whatever you have. That's
not with a MEVO.
Oh, really? Okay, tell us about that.
It's all Apple app driven. It
okay.
To like there is an SD card on the camera, and you record it to SD card, and all the production is done through the Apple app. I don't know.
Okay.
I can't affirm if there is a Google app for it or Android app for
Sure.
it, but the Apple app does all the production, and that's how you set up the sound quality, what is being recorded at that time, what video. You can set up different screens within where the camera is looking at and follow a face the entire time. The
Yeah.
production of it is very mobile for anything.
Yeah, the camera follow. I know that the camera is pretty intuitive on
Yeah,
that.
and so it's very handy for people who really want to dive into it, but it's all done through the app.
Cool.
And you have to have an app. It's easier to use an iPad, so we purchased an iPad to get it done as well.
Okay, so the iPad, well, so kind of what I was saying, you need some device that gets it from the camera to the Facebook Live.
Yes.
is what I'm saying. Now you're just saying it's an app on a phone or an iPad that you could connect the camera to.
Or you could just take it from the recorded SD, plug it into your computer, and upload it. Like, that's the other thing. You don't necessarily have to go live with a MEVO camera. You could just do a recording with the MEVO and then take that, then upload it to the Facebook or wherever you're going to put it.
Yeah.
Because the issue that a lot of people are going to run into is the coding of the live stream, and that's where the downfall is going to go. You can't you can send a recording to Facebook after it's done, but you can't, without the technology, you can't live stream straight to it without the coding. And the MEVO camera takes care of that all for you.
Okay. Yeah. Well, because I was just about to go live here right before you and I had this chat, and with my camera here on my computer and the Facebook, gosh, I can't remember exactly what they call it, the live producer, they're calling it now. They got it looked really robust and really user intuitive, but I connected my camera and I clicked go live and it was ready for me to go there. So some of that, it does exist to make that simple and easy to go live. But again, like you're saying, there's a lot of value to consider in recording and then finding some type of a video editor, especially because then, once you're live, whatever you say, you don't have that 8-second delay like the TV and the radio station does. So make sure you're not cussing on stage or nothing, But yeah, I mean, when you record, you can also limit down some things. And if your sermon, I had a Zoom call with some pastors this morning, and we talked about just the reality of live stream, just the reality of what has happened when people, and granted, it wasn't during this pandemic, so it was prior to that, but just the actual watch time, that the stats of people that are actually watching, and it's very low. So the 45-minute, hour sermon, thing like that, you may want to consider limiting that down into people's attention span chunks, especially in this time frame. So all that to say, what does that look like for you, practically speaking, on Sunday morning? You've got the camera set up, you've got the iPad there. What happens? How does that look for you?
Well, once you have it all set up, you have it set up through the Wi-Fi, and that's one specific thing you need to make sure is that you have a Wi-Fi signal.
Not the cell phone signal then.
Yeah, like a Wi-Fi signal that is dedicated for the device, because however much you want to upload depends on your signal speed of your Wi-Fi. And once everything's connected, we hit record. We say we want it on our Facebook page or Facebook, and we bring up the account and we say church, and we want our church's Facebook page, and all we have to do is hit go, and it's live and it runs.
So it sounds like the MEVO application and all that really makes that plug and play for you.
It's
so it's
part
of what you pay for is getting the easy use.
Yeah, it's a very easy program to use. It's just if you play around with it enough, you can become a good expert at producing what's going on. Got it.
Yeah. Okay. What kind of things are you able to do anything, or do you do anything during the service to watch for comments or questions or interaction? Is that do you have that through the camera? Is that somebody logging in separately from their phone? What do you do anything there?
They would have to log in separately from their phone and from their computer to get into the comments. You can't do it right from the iPad. We never tested it out to have Facebook run in the background and then open that up. We don't know what's going to happen to the feed. We just said, let's not mess with it. Keep the app up and just let it run and let it go. We have run into technical difficulties before. We don't know if it was because of the Wi-Fi or what it would have been the particular Sunday. So somebody had to go in on their phone and say, we're having technical difficulties with the feed today. We'll post a recording later in the week.
Gotcha. And that would be another benefit of the camera itself, because while it's sending live, it's also recording it, so that if you had to, you could come back and post the recording. I would say. Yeah. Cool. Well, so I was going to ask you about your bandwidth real quick. I know that a lot of the guys, there's a lot of limiting factors, and that's going to be one of them. Is the Wi-Fi that you're able to connect to. Have you had to do anything special with your local router or anything like that for the
We've
Wi-Fi?
definitely had to upgrade it a lot. We were at very minimum basic with Wi-Fi speeds, and then we had to increase it a lot to make it work. Something that we tested out very early on was connecting what was coming out of our speakers to the iPad, because you could do a direct feed into the iPad to do your recordings for this. And we just came into a lot of issues because our broadband was not good enough, that we had a lot of interference and static with the quality. So what's good about the MEVO is that you can record into the microphone that's on the MEVO. You can record it, or you can record it into the iPad that you're doing the production from. Yeah. And depending on where you put the iPad at, is generally just depending on which source you use. This next week, we're going to be doing a live feed of our Bible study with me and my associate pastor, and we're going to connect our recording devices for our microphones that we use for our announcement videos to the iPad, and we're going to test out that and see how that goes, and get a better sound than what goes directly from the MEVO itself.
Kind of what I was saying, you can get away with poor video but great audio. The better you can make your audio and have people hear, the better off you're going to be. Like for these, I could use the microphones on my webcam, but I got a Yeti blue USB microphone that I tend to use for my podcasts and these video calls, because it just makes the sound a little bit more clear when we're talking. And it try to make it just a little bit better from that standpoint. So very cool. Well, I don't want to make this last too long. I know, we got attention spans on videos, and so hopefully this couple minutes that we took to set this up and kind of walk through a very real practical. Guys, we'll put some links with some of the names and models and cameras and stuff like that we talked about. We'll put those down in the comments of the video, and hopefully this was helpful for you to understand how you might live stream, or at least get some video going for your church service while we try to minister to people through a time when social distancing is the new buzzword, and we just try to stay healthy. So thanks, Luke, for your time.
You're welcome.
All right, man. We'll see you.
See ya.